haven't seen much anime in a while, so I decided to watch every anime in alphabetical order, using my anime list database. So join me as we discover the good, the bad, the weird and the hidden gems. "15 children are accidentally sent to space. How do you do that? Well, you of course leave them on a space shuttle primed for launch alone, where they're just pushing random buttons until they accidentally press the launch button. 15 Children Space Adventure is a Korean movie made in 1980. From what I'm able to find, it was made by the production company called Sambu Production, with Yang Soo-young as director. This movie is also the final of a trilogy, called the Dreamland Masterpiece Theater Trilogy, with the Starland Trio and Time Machine 001. The 15 kids are sucked in by some sort of cloud, and are teleported 11 light years away from Earth, where they land on an unknown planet. While investigating the planet, they come across a missing spaceship from 13 years ago, and find a dead crew inside. When they get back to their own ship, they get attacked by something unknown to them, and one of the kids goes missing. Two of the kids go looking for him, and think he got pulled away from the group by a strong telepathy. After a while of searching, they find ruins of, I kid you not, the Mayan civilization, in which they find two alien species. One they call the Green People, and another that has taken over the planet from the Green People, to which they will try to help them get back their planet. The whole direction of this movie was just so confusing. For one, that they find the freaking Mayan civilization on a planet 11 light years away from Earth. They also find an old train that takes them to the city of the Green People. Near the end of the movie, to fight off the bad guys, they call upon their solar deity, who which shoots a beam of rainbows towards a cliff to bring the sun back for the Green People, since they are like plant people. The pacing of this movie is also god awful. When they first go out to investigate the planet, in the span of just 2 minutes, they find an Amazon-like jungle, find a dinosaur skeleton, one of them gets attacked by a cannibal plant, defeat this plant, run out of the jungle and get to a stone desert, find the missing spaceship in the desert, and find the dead crew inside the spaceship. Again, this all happens in just 2 minutes. Most of the kids in this movie are also just unnecessary. Only about 4 or 5 of them do actually something. The rest of the 10 can just not be in the movie and nothing will change. These kids are also all from different countries and are very stereotypical of their respective countries. Like the one from the amazing country called Africa is a very stereotypical tribal person. At the end of the movie, we find out that the big bad that's behind the occupation of the Green People's city is the dad of one of the kids, who changes into Satan and destroys the evil machine called the golden brain behind all of it. I don't know what it is. The dad dies and the kid says that his dad did the best thing ever. I don't think I want to call taking control over a planet and city of its original people the best thing ever, but you do you, I guess. I think it's pretty obvious when I say this movie is bad, with its nonsensical plot and terrible pacing. It's very funny with how ridiculous it is, but other than that, it's just a waste of time to watch it. This is the music video for the song 15 Step by the legendary band Radiohead. The song is about the fear of dying, but can also be about the difficulty in finding a romantic partner. The song does something interesting to convey this feeling of fear and discomfort. The song itself is written in 5/4 time signature instead of the standard 4/4. I honestly can't really make sense of what the music video is about. It's nicely animated though, but I don't have much else to say.
Ohayo.
笑ってるなんて宗師のこと気にしている場合じゃなかった。
As you may have noticed, this isn't really your standard anime, since it's made in 9:16 ratio for phones. This is because it was released on a streaming app called Anime Beans. Unfortunately, this app went out of service in March of 2023, and you can no longer watch it. This specific anime has been saved on the Internet Archive, but not all the anime from the app have been recovered. This anime is 30 episodes, with each episode being 1 minute. It follows Hiyori Maki, a high school girl that starts to live with her childhood friend. This childhood friend tries to make Hiyori fall in love with him, and just kinda randomly kisses her and stuff, which is something you shouldn't do to make someone like you. After a couple episodes, another character is introduced, a guy who is a school nurse. The first interaction between this guy and Hiyori is when Hiyori wasn't feeling well. She went to sleep for a bit at the school clinic. While asleep, this guy tries to kiss her as well. But don't worry, he's hot, so it doesn't matter. After this, some rivalry starts with the two guys. The characters in the anime are all pretty bland. There's no animation and the art is the same as the web manga. Even though this anime is just 30 minutes long, it was difficult to get through. Konoha Akisato is an artist and got her first job as an illustrator at a game company called Bluebell. Though to her disappointment, she only works on backgrounds of cheap and low-effort bishoujo games. She became an artist and wanted to work in the industry because of her love for bishoujo games, and while on break at the work comes across a small game store she hasn't seen before, run by an older lady. She went inside for a little bit but had to go back to work, though she plans to come back after she's done. But when she goes back to the store, it is nowhere to be found, and its place is just a vacant store, though inside she finds a bag with all sorts of bishoujo games. She tries to figure out what happened and opens one of the games, as a flash of light comes from inside the box. In the moment she's suddenly transported back in time to 1992, a time when bishoujo games just started to pop up. The anime is called 16-bit Sensation Another Layer. It was released in fall of 2023, made by Studio Silver and adapted from a web manga. It follows Konoha, who tries to fulfill her dream of making her own bishoujo game. Transported back to 1992, she goes to the only place she knows, Bluebell, the company she works for. But at that location she only finds an electronics store, though at the top floor is a small game studio called Alcohol Soft that specializes in making bishoujo games, to which Konoha desperately wants to help with, and in part so she also has a place to stay. This anime throws you for a loop on what it's about. Since what I told you, now it seems like the story is just about Konoha trying to make a good game with Alcohol Soft, and about time travel. It's part of it, but the anime eventually tries to tell a message, one that is relevant now more than ever. Without spoiling major plot points, I'll keep it vague. Konoha messes up the timeline majorly, and 2023 isn't what it used to be. Technology has advanced quite a bit more than what she used to, and she hears from her friends that a lot of games made are basically made with AI and not humans anymore. This is the message that the anime eventually tries to tell. It calls out people that use AI to make art. They literally say in the anime that games that are made like this are bad and low effort, and that AI can never replace the human imagination. I 100% stand behind this. AI is a difficult subject to discuss, since AI can be very useful, but it's now used to create something that people will call art. It's not. It's a scapegoat for companies to not pay artists, voice actors and writers. And it's all used with actual stolen art and voices. I saw someone say something that has stuck with me and describes the situation perfectly. I want AI to do my cleaning and wash my dishes and clothes, so I have more time to create art. Not for AI to create art for me, so I have more time to clean. And the anime sends this message loud and clear, and I find it very commendable. With that out of the way, what else do I have to say about this anime? The voice and the character of Konoha can be a turn-off for some people. She is pretty energetic and has a quite high-pitched voice. I got used to it myself, but I can see people finding it unpleasant. But I honestly thought her voice acting was really good. There's a part during episode 6 that I want to highlight, since I was genuinely impressed. It's an emotional moment, and that emotion just shines through in her voice. The art that they made inside the games and in the ending were also very good. Overall, the anime was good. I quite enjoyed it. It has its issues with how confusing the story can be with what it's about, but the eventual message of it is good and an important one. The characters are all likable, but they don't really stand out. It's not the best anime ever, but it also didn't waste my time watching it. Can I Make Your Ears Happy in 180 Seconds is an anime with ASMR in it. It follows various girls as they play around with one of those heads with sensitive microphones in its ears. I'll say outright that I absolutely know nothing about ASMR. I don't listen to it and I don't really enjoy it. So I'll be reiterating basic review points I've seen various people mention. As an anime, it isn't very good. It just follows the story of various girls messing around with the dummy head microphone. This dummy head basically represents the viewer. Girls themselves don't really have any personality and are all pretty bland. The art is also quite generic, with some parts being drawn pretty badly, and certain parts where there isn't any mouth movement even though they're talking. But that's just half of what the anime is about. What about the ASMR parts? Well, that's also not good. The left ear will get the majority of sound, so it's really unbalanced, and it switches from normal talking to ASMR consistently. There are no attempts at giving the illusion that the microphone used for the ASMR is actually there, both because of the normal conversations the characters have between these segments, but there's also no illusion of dissonance with the sounds. All the sounds are just flat tracks put against each side of the ear. The anime has an ending theme and is the opposite of what ASMR represents, since it's a very energetic and upbeat song that will blast your ears when the anime is done. So if you like ASMR, don't bother watching this. And if you like anime, also don't bother watching this. It feels on both fronts. Haruto suddenly wakes up in a strange bedroom and looks out of his window to see he's in a strange world. Here he meets Lily, a white-haired girl that tells him he's in the dream world, and through another door will end up in another realm of a witch. Here he meets a cat-like character called Katsumi, a researcher of the dream world, and learns from him and Lily that the witches are actually girls in the real world that suffer from sleeping beauty syndrome, a coma-like state induced because of torment and hardship they've endured in their real lives. The only way they are able to wake up is to overcome this torment. 18if is a 13-episode anime that was made by Studio Gonzo. The anime is adapted from mixed media, or an alleged multimedia project, which my anime list says consists of a mobile game and a virtual reality game. I've only been able to find something about the mobile game, and it doesn't seem like there ever was a reality game, so I don't know where that comes from. The mobile game is called 18 Kimito Tsunagara Puzzle, a match 3 puzzle game, but you can't play it anymore since it went out of service in 2019. The anime follows Haruto in an episodic way, with each episode consisting of a witch he needs to defeat, with the last couple episodes wrapping up the story. It's quite experimental with unique ways the anime is shot, and each episode has a different director. The art style can change quite drastically between episodes as well, where some episodes look quite nice, though overall I didn't really find the art to be very good. Haruto honestly wasn't really a good character. He's blind and contradicts himself. Episode 2 is quite a gory episode since he's helping a girl who witnessed her family getting pretty brutally murdered. This girl is getting revenge on the guys that did this, and Haruto is basically helping her with this, killing the last dude almost by himself. Then episode 3 rolls around and it's about a sick girl, and Haruto tells her that he doesn't like seeing people in pain, which when you look at episode 2 doesn't make any sense. The stories in all of the episodes are all pretty generic, like a girl that's sick that doesn't have the stamina to do much, like all the kids around her in school. She wants to get better so she's able to do all the things she wants. Another is a figure skater who's very famous, but because of this fame can't live a normal life. It's also generic and very predictable. And of course all the people Haruto helps are all girls. The anime just feels like it's trying to be deep, but it just falls flat so many times. The ending is also not very good. Episode 11 is just a recap episode disguised as a real episode. And episode 12 and 13 the anime pulls out a villain out of thin air. There's no build up or hints about this villain, and it just exposition dumps all the evil things that they will do. The anime tries too hard to be deep, and there are mysteries that it just doesn't answer. Haruto as a character doesn't make any sense and is uninteresting. The art style can also be very hit or miss, while episode 7 has some really nice and unique art. Episode 8 is just bad. I do say that the music was quite good. While this is the genre I enjoy, I'm sure people like it, but overall this anime isn't worth watching.
长得有点猛，脚也抽筋儿了。
你先伸出2根手指，自己堵住鼻孔。
19 Days is a BL anime with comedy elements, and it follows 4 guys in basically their day-to-day lives. The anime is also made in portrait, and is just an animated and voiced version of the webcomic. It's 60 episodes long, with each episode being 1 minute. While the animation is non-existent, the art itself is nice and the story is quite promising. Since the anime is barely an hour long, there are a lot of underlying story beats that it tries to tell that haven't yet been explored. The anime itself also ends on a cliffhanger. The series has quite a dedicated fan base that love the series, but it's quite slow to come out. Isn't that much that happens in the anime, but I do recommend it. Just read the webcomic instead. You probably get more out of it than watching the anime. 1985 is a song and music video by a small artist called Mohome. It's a 6-minute instrumental track with a very high quality music video. The artist described the album with the same name as a collection of fun memories, which this music video does capture with its retro style and lots of references. While the concept captures that stuff well, it honestly wasn't really anything special. The music video is high quality, but it isn't memorable. The song itself sounds nice, but it's quite repetitive to where after 3 minutes you're kinda done listening to it. It's overall just alright. Have a listen if you're curious, otherwise I'd say just skip out on this one. This song is by the well-known Japanese band called The Pillows. The music video follows someone landing on an unknown planet occupied by aliens, but when they land on the planet they aren't noticed by the alien population, basically as if nothing happened. The astronaut tries desperately to get noticed by making a song and playing it to the aliens, but still no one cares, eventually laying against a dead tree stump and passing away. After some time passes, the planet is hit by a meteor shower, destroying the alien civilization, when suddenly the song of the astronaut starts playing, grows a giant tree and saves the aliens. The song and music video is about when the band first started in 1989, how it felt making music and not being noticed for it. The animation in the music video is alright, and the song is 7 minutes and a little slow, so it's quite long and probably not for everyone, but I did enjoy it and it has a pretty powerful message.
本当にごめんなさい。空き部屋と間違えて契約していたみたいなの。今は他の部屋もいっぱいだし。
Misaki Akane just moved to a new apartment, but finds out that the landlady accidentally double rented the apartment. This will take a week to resolve, and now is to live that time with an older guy. They only have one bed to sleep in, and during the night Misaki hears her neighbors being intimate. This turns her on and she starts masturbating to the sounds. And she doesn't do this very quietly at all, and Hasuma, the older guy, wakes up from this and catches her. This leads to them having sex. This is, as you might guess, a hentai. It's actually still ongoing, but I thought it was worth including. As of the writing of the script, it's 6 episodes long, the 6th one only releasing last month. I honestly thought this hentai was quite well done. It actually has a story, being the relationship that develops between Misaki and Hasuma, as they go from strangers to actually growing feelings for one another, leading to them not actually wanting to be apart from one another. Though there is, from what I assume, quite the age difference. While Misaki is still in high school, Hasuma is definitely much older. Both the story and animation were decent, but where the hentai really shines is in sound. There are actual background noises happening during the intimate scenes, and while during those scenes they don't keep on talking and talking, only saying a couple lines here and there. That has always been kind of an annoyance for me, that in hentai the characters keep on talking during sex scenes. The hentai is mostly vanilla with some exhibitionism, and with everything I said, definitely check it out if it seems interesting to you. Yeah, this entry is just called Two. It's a song and music video by Del Job Step Club, and it's a more avant-garde hip-hop song. The video is just a square screen with different people dancing and doing various other activities. I like the vocals and some of the instrumentals, but the song overall is pretty boring and at times quite unpleasant to listen to, since there's a high-pitched noise at certain times. For the most part, while I like the instrumentals, the song and music video are not that good. It's repetitive, and while the vocals are nice, the lyrics are just nonsensical. This is a song from our favorite Japanese program from the NHK, Mina no Uta. It's sung by two people, Megumi Sakata on main vocals and Osamu Sakata on backing vocals. The song is very much a kid song with a stop motion music video. They're both okay, however I'm a bit unsure what it's actually about. I did find a live version of this song, and I do love that both Megumi and Osamu seem to have a lot of fun singing.
本性を表したな。名声中の悪評高い天才セッターは自分の欲望を満たすことしか考えてへんのやってな。
Back when Hajima and Kuroba were young, Hajima moved away from the Fukui prefecture to Tokyo, but when Kuroba was in middle school, a new transfer student joined the class, and it's none other than Hajima. He has moved back to Fukui. Kuroba is part of the volleyball club. He's in it just because he has to. He doesn't go to training since no one else really does, but when Hajima finds out they have a volleyball club, he joins it and actually practices. Kuroba eventually joins in and they start hanging out again, with more of the club joining them until they have a team again. Hajima is a very talented volleyball player. He started back in Tokyo, but after something from his cousin, Kuroba gets to know why Hajima moved back. He's very passionate about volleyball and wants to win the big tournaments, but he puts a lot of pressure on his teammates as well, lashing out at them when they start having doubts. Hajima wasn't really liked at the school in Tokyo because of this, but it came to a point where one of his teammates attempted to take his own life because of all the pressure put on him by Hajima. But Hajima is back in Fukui, and he still has his goals set, to win the spring tournament. With his new team he sets out to try this again. This anime is called 2.43 Seiin High School Boys Volleyball Team. 2.43 refers to the height in meters, at which the net sits at in official tournaments. This is a sports and drama anime made by David Production. The new team of Kuroba and Hajima is turning out well, and they signed up for the preliminary tournament. When they win this, they will represent Fukui Prefecture in the spring tournament. They win the first matches of this, but when the last match rolls around, Kuroba gets doubts of his abilities. He's convinced himself that he isn't needed on the team and delays his arrival to the last match. But when he gets there, it has already ended. They lost, and the team falls apart after this. A couple years later, Kuroba enters the Seiin High School and decides to start over and join the volleyball club. Here he finds Hajima again and decides to try to win the spring tournament again. This was a long introduction, but it was kinda needed to paint a picture on what the anime is about. This premise for me was actually quite compelling. It has quite some drama mixed with sports. The anime does as well, so one doesn't overshadow the other. Unfortunately, this anime kinda suffers from being compared to the titan of sports anime, that being Haikyu. While this anime was actually good, it wasn't groundbreaking, but it doesn't have to be. The characters were well written, though not many are really explored. Most of the spotlight is on Hajima and Kuroba, which is understandable, but the others on the team don't have that much personality. One critique I do have is that in the later half of the anime, the rival team does get a bit too much focus at times. So much so that it almost looks like we are rooting for them. The animation is also the highlight of the anime. David Production did a good job at it. It's clean and exciting during the matches. One fun thing I want to highlight as well is that because the anime takes place in Fukui, the characters also speak in a Fukui dialect, which is a nice touch. Overall I thought the anime was good. It tells the story well and isn't held back by much. The only thing is that gets compared to Haikyu, but if you've seen that and want some more volleyball anime, you might like this one.
ほならうち来ねえの。
は
はってなんや。
はいじま、きねのってのはいらっしゃいって意味や。
This is a series of mini anime that was released on the Twitter of the main series. It's divided into 4 series where we see all the characters in a chibi-like art style. First one of these is about the Fukui dialect. It shows some phrases from the main series and explains what they mean. It's quite informative if you want to know more about the dialect. The second one is called Inside Story and expands on the region the anime takes place in. It honestly was kinda boring and forgettable. The third one teaches about the rules, positions and techniques in volleyball. This one is also quite informative and very useful if you don't know or want to know more about volleyball. The last mini anime is a character introduction. This is the same as the Inside Story one in that it's just forgettable. These mini anime aren't necessary to watch. I only really recommend the one that teaches you about volleyball, since that can be useful if you're watching the anime and you're getting confused about all the rules of the sport. Other than that, none of the others were really that interesting, apart for the Fukui dialect one, but quite a lot of people watching the anime aren't really that interested in the dialect. Thank you very much for watching. In the next episode, we'll see a commercial for apartment rental and a 39 episode anime about hotel management. Subscribe so you don't miss it and let me know in the comments what you thought of all the anime.